mental health issues. It's really weird. They have alcoholism if alcohol is introduced into their environments. But other than that, when they don't have that, like Happy People, Life in the Taiga, did you ever see that documentary?
No.
It's Werner Herzog's documentary on these people that live in Siberia. And all these guys do is live off the land. All they do is hunt and fish and trap. And, they're trapping furs, and that's how they buy, like, snowmobiles and, hatchets and shit like that. But the majority of their time is just shooting animals, eating them, fishing, and everybody's happy as fuck. There's a whole village of people that are so happy. They're just smiling and laughing. There's, like, no disputes. Everybody's just working together to try to get meat. They're showing how to like the craftsmanship involved in making these snowshoes and sleds. They make their own skis. I mean, it's really, really interesting because in the absence of that real day-to-day struggle that these people have, we're almost like we're like waiting for something to come along and kick us in the ass. It's almost like we only react by nature instead of act in some ways.
Well, I'm actually fascinated by that stuff too, Joe. I'm fascinated by tribal cultures.
Yeah.
And, but, there's no going back to that.
No.
At some point, there was an invention happen, and the invention was the individual. And once that was invented, I think the ancient Greeks invented it somewhere around, the time of Socrates and before that. And at that point, we no longer had the tribe. We no longer had that wonderful thing enveloping us.
Right.
But the other, if you look at Afghanistan, which is a great place for us to study because we see it in the news and we've had seen it, which is like in Pashtunistan, you get kind of pretty much tribal culture the way it was way, way, way back when. And I'm also, like when I was reading about the Comanches a little while ago. The other thing, one of the things about tribes is they are unbelievably cruel to whoever, if they capture anybody else or if there's anyone who violates the tribe. It's not such an idyllic world when you get into that side of it.
Wait a minute, you mean it's not like Avatar?
That was the side they left out of in Avatar.
Of course.
But
it's almost like it's almost a cheat code to happiness, that kind of simple life where you're constantly out there doing. This world where it's just we don't know what the hell to do, and we don't have action as this kind of through line in our life of, okay, got to go achieve that next goal, which is meat, that next goal, which is fish, that next goal, which is shelter. It's just this amorphous world, and we got to figure it out. Well, and I think one of the things you said is really important is you got to just do the work, but at the start, it's always a leap of faith, whatever that is. Like, you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but you take that first step, and then just trust that if you stay and you show up and you do that every time, then some momentum's going to start going.
It's this kind of a cliche. It's that old Maslow pyramid, of where the basic needs of hunger or, clothing, da-da-da. And then when you get to the top, which is where we are, the needs become, because we have grocery stores, there's no bombs going off in the street. So now it becomes self-actualization or asking the questions, who am I? Why am I here? Da, 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 all those tough questions, right? That the tribesmen don't have to ask because they're too busy
fighting off grizzlies.
Right. And to me, this is where something like martial arts or any kind of a discipline or art, period, the production of art, this podcast, your comedy, whatever it is, and I can't really put my finger on why, but I think it's an answer to this thing of being alone, being an individual, being unfettered from the tribal structure or from any structure where we're kind of floating in space, like George Clooney and trying to figure out who am I, why am I here, what do I want? Tough questions,
Yeah.